They say it's all about rights, but rights can't fix the wrong that we do to God each day. How long can we stand strong? And all I got is one question left. If we turn our backs and spit in His face, is God still gonna bless the USA?
The Money Pit is a 1986 comedy starring Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. The story follows Walter and Anna Banks, a couple who buy what appears to be a dream house at an unbelievably reasonable price. From outside, the mansion looks perfect. It's spacious, elegant, and full of promise. But once they move in, everything begins to go wrong. The staircase collapses, the plumbing explodes, electrical systems fail, walls crumble, renovation costs begin spiraling out of control. Every attempt to fix one problem reveals two more. The house becomes a financial and emotional drain, turning what seemed to be a treasure into a bottomless pit for money, time, and peace. By the end, the couple learns something Scripture has been saying all along. What looks valuable on the surface can hide deep structural flaws, and that chasing appearances can cost far more than was expected. Greetings, Patriots. I'm Perry Greene. Welcome to God in America, where faith and freedom are anchored not in appearances, but in eternal truth. Freedom is sustained when we value what God values and collapses when we chase what only appears to be treasure. Listen to Proverbs 15, verse 6. In the house of the righteous there is much treasure, but trouble befalls the income of the wicked. Notice what God does here. He doesn't deny income or prosperity, but He draws a sharp contrast between treasure and trouble. The verse doesn't say the righteous always have more money. It says there is much treasure in their house. God is talking about atmosphere, stability, peace, and trust. These are the things that don't show up on a balance sheet, but determine the quality of life. On the other hand, the wicked may have income and sometimes a lot of it, but that income brings trouble with it, anxiety, broken relationships, fear of exposure, constant instability. God is saying how you gain matters as much as what you gain. Jesus echoed this wisdom in Matthew 13 when He told the parable of the hidden treasure in the field. A man discovered treasure buried in that field, and he joyfully sells everything he has to buy it because he understands the value of what he's found. Jesus' point is simple. Real treasure is often hidden, and it's worth everything to obtain it. God's treasure isn't flashy, but it endures. America's founders understood this idea and expressed it in various ways. Benjamin Franklin warned bluntly, when wealth accumulates, men decay. He understood that prosperity without virtue doesn't bless a people, it corrodes them. In other words, wealth without virtue becomes a curse instead of a blessing. George Washington consistently spoke of divine providence, believing that national success depended on God's favor, not clever schemes or raw power. These men didn't believe prosperity was evil. After all, wealthy Americans were bankrolling the efforts for independence. But they knew prosperity detached from righteousness would rot a nation from the inside out. They were willing to be conduits of their wealth and sacrifice comfort, income, and safety because they believed some things were worth more than convenience. Today, we're constantly told that success equals money, influence, visibility, and ease. If it pays well, feels good, or boosts status, we're told it must be good. But Proverbs 15, verse 6 warns us that some income brings trouble with it. We see it everywhere in families torn apart by financial obsession, careers built on compromise, institutions chasing profit at the high cost of integrity, and a nation drowning in debt and starving for wisdom. Meanwhile, the quiet treasures of faith, character, truth, and obedience are treated like optional extras. This verse invites us to slow down and ask, what does my household value the most? Am I building treasure or just income? Does what I pursue bring peace or constant trouble? God isn't anti-success, He's anti-self-destruction. A free nation depends on people who value righteousness over shortcuts. When trouble follows gain, freedom erodes. When treasure fills the house, stability follows. Virtue compounds while evil corrodes. Eventually, one outlasts the other. God's treasure doesn't always shine on the surface, but it holds up under pressure. It fills homes with peace, lives with purpose, and nations with hope. May we be a people who recognize true wealth when we see it and are willing to give up lesser things to obtain it. Well, thanks for listening to God in America today. Until next time, let's keep the light of God's treasure burning.
Yeah, if we turn our backs and spit in